Welcome to The Bridge, a podcast aimed at bridging the gap, I would say, between generations, looking at how we live, the world we live in, and obviously, most importantly, a little bit of what we can learn from each other. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about technology. I have our chief photog with me, Jeff Dillard, and he's going to be talking to us about kind of our perspective in growing up, especially with technology. We're going to be talking about, is it ruining childhood today, and did it affect, and how it affected our childhoods, kind of. I want to talk to you first, obviously. I grew up in the era where I had a phone, my first phone, I think in the fourth grade. I think that's when I very first got my first phone, and ever since then, I've kind of lived with that digital computer in my pocket forever, right? I want to talk to you about when you were growing up, what was experiences like? When was the first time you got your phone? Different things like that, and kind of how that works.
Good question. First of all, the teachers lied to us.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to do our homework with a calculator, and they're like, you're not always going to have a calculator with you. They lied. That's wrong.
Yeah.
I think my first phone was when I turned, 12. I think 12 years old. I got my first phone, and it was mounted to my bedroom wall. You know, it was a wired phone.
Yeah, so it was one of those like ones right. You would dial up and you would be able to call.
It actually had the little rotary dial.
The little rotary dial.
And when somebody called the house, no telling who would pick it up. It could have been in my room, could have been somewhere else.
I've never used a rotary dial, by the way, in my entire life. I've never even touched a rotary dial phone. But I think that is kind of the perspective that we're talking about. Is that like when growing up through school, communicating with my friends even, right? Like that's a big thing nowadays because kids can just sit and not even have to get off the app that they're using, whether it's TikTok or YouTube or whatever they're on their phone for. They can just swipe down and message their friends all day long.
Well, we sent messages in school.
Through notes. And that was something that I did in school too, just because you couldn't have your phone out, and I know a lot of the schools around this area in Louisiana are no phone, but every year we get a little bit closer to it's just normal for everyone to have their phones out all the time. How do you think it's affecting the way kids play outside? Do you think it's like a major thing? Like that's the major derivating project of it all?
I don't know. I think less so, but even as a kid, when I was a kid, we got our first Pong video game, and we sat inside on that thing for hours, just like first Atari too. But I grew up as a geek anyway, so we still spent plenty of time outside building forts.
Yeah,
doing crazy stuff, probably dangerous things.
And
I'm Gen X, so
I think so. Yeah, and I think that is a major thing that a lot of people. It's the bike conversation. Every kid grows up with a bike, right? And as we have grown up, I have noticed. At first, I noticed that I didn't see as many kids out on the bikes anymore. I didn't see as many kids outside. It may have to do with the fact that where we live in Louisiana, it is 110 degrees outside in the summertime. So granted with that, but the more that I am looking in these neighborhoods as I do stories or that we go do things, I see how many kids are still getting outside. I was a huge outside kid. Now, I did get grounded a lot, per se. I got my stuff taken away. Who knows if that changes anything, but I would play outside sports in my little neighborhood here in Louisiana. I mean, it was almost like my parents had to tell me, like, you have got to do your chores before you go outside, because that's all I wanted to do was go play basketball with my friends. And I feel like because technology is such a distraction, and it's marketed as a distraction nowadays. They want to keep you on the platform so they can get money.
The algorithms are made that way to keep you from scrolling.
Exactly.
Right there.
And so to have those things which are continuously getting better and continuously being pushed forward and worked on, I see it as it's only going to get worse for the kids coming up nowadays from a distraction set point. And as a kid, I mean, you're driving down from home, and the only thing you can think about is, man, is mom going to stop at McDonald's? Like our level of what we're actually focused on as a kid is so minuscule to where we're at today even. And in all honesty, I think that, and this is just my opinion talking about, do we think this technology is ruining childhoods today? I honestly don't think so. I think that as technology continues to advance, and it will, it just comes down to the parents truly on how much they are going to give the kid.
Right.
And how much of the world are you going to allow this kid
Right.
to kind of experience through that tablet, through that phone? Is it something where you're going to be having them on the Bluey and sitting and watching those type of things, or on TikTok, or is it something like now that I am grown up, actually appreciate the fact that I did not have my phone with me all the time? Or I know Snapchat is a very big social media
Right.
thing, especially for kids. And I was not allowed to have that until 18. And I think about like the effects it had on my life, positive ones though. Like in the moment, I thought, oh, maybe I was the uncool kid for not having it, or I was, my friends didn't want to talk to me or add me to group chats because I didn't have Snapchat, or talking to a girl may have been a little bit harder because when she wanted to get my Snapchat,
Can't just so suck.
yeah, I can. You know what I mean? You have to. Yeah, that's how you talked after school. And so for me to grow up without these things, I feel like I grew up pretty okay. And I feel like just because technology is there, it's going to get used the same way as it got used with me. And generations that are being born in, whether it was 2010 to, I mean, the kids that were born in 2010 are 15 this year. Think about it like that.
Wow.
Like, isn't that crazy? Like that is the area of technology where we've kind of flatlined to. Obviously, AI is a big thing. That's kind of been our latest breakthrough. But kids,
This past week, we've gone crazy with it. What's the new
Sora.
app?
It's Sora AI.
Yeah, we spent most of the time in the studio playing with that in
Yeah.
our downtime. And this morning with
Yeah, with all of our new stuff, it is such a big thing.
how far it's come in so little time.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
we're what, some,
I mean, this is early.
And this
it,
is
it almost
exactly.
feels like the beginning of this new technological wave when it comes to AI. But even so, AI is almost used for. There are certain cases where it has been used extremely negative.
Right.
And
with
they're-
deep fakes and everything.
Yes, with
else like
deep
that.
fakes and
it's getting to where now just about like with Sora,
It's hard to tell.
anybody can sit there and do it now, and
Especially.
it's only going to get better
And so
or worse depending on how you look at it.
exactly. That's where the avenues come in, where it really falls on the parent, and it comes to, well, you have to understand as a parent. Now, I'm not a parent of any sort, so obviously I'm not going to sit here and say what I know. But what my parents and what I inspire a lot of, what I've gotten from them, is that, like, if I were to have a child and I know all of this AI stuff is coming out, and I know all of this technology and the TikTok and all that type of stuff, one, I know that all of my kids' friends are going to be on this stuff. It just is.
true.
They're going to be on
Yep,
Instagram
it's true.
already.
So
by the time
how much
he's in
screen
middle
time are you
school-
going to limit?
Exactly. How much screen time are you going
Right.
to give them? How much of that are you going to let them see? And it's almost like you have to have that conversation now. Do not believe everything you see on the internet.
Right.
And we learned that from an early age. But at that point, it was really like, come on, Mom. I am seeing this guy
Right.
do 10 backflips off of his bike right now. Like,
Right.
we're seeing that
Right.
happen. And now it's like, I don't
Is
know.
that
Is that
real?
really?
No, there's a Yeti. That one's not
Yeah,
real. Yeah.
I saw a video the other day of a man getting attacked by a shark, and it was one of the most. It was, I could tell just by the way the shark moved, but it was incredibly like graphics wise. If you didn't spot like the weird jolt of the
Right.
shark, like you really wouldn't have known.
It used to be you had to watch the mouth. China's got a lot
Yeah.
of CGI anchors
Yeah.
that they've been using for years now. I used to really mess with the
For their
anchors.
newscasts,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's like well, in 2 years we're just going to replace you with CGI anyway.
Yeah.
But now,
Well, hey.
but you yeah.
Knock on some wood right there, right? Yeah.
But now you can't even tell by looking at the mouth. Usually it used to be, and this was like 3 or 4 years ago, that you'd see everything looks right, but the mouth wasn't moving right.
Yeah.
And now you can't even tell. It's seamless. They've got that part down.
Yeah.
It's almost now you're just listening for the sound but it, how it distorts on some of the cheaper made.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to do, would you like to do a new segment brought to you by Mom and Dad Gibson?
Okay.
It's a new segment.
By
and
Mom and Dad Gibson.
Yeah, Mom and Dad Gibson. They're the sponsor,
Okay.
the sponsors of this segment here on the podcast, and it is teaching you guys words, slang words used in the younger community. So maybe if you heard this
Okay.
out there,
Now,
or
I do have a
something-
19-year-old daughter.
Oh,
So
if
yeah,
she's watching this, she can teach you all about your words that go together. So I'm kind of teaching you two here, which is a really cool thing here. We're going to be talking about what geeked versus locked in means. Geeked versus locked in. Now that is a sentence that people will use. Like it's not what is geeked versus locked in. It is the statement geeked versus locked in. Please tell me what you think that means.
It's the whole statement.
It's the whole statement. Yes, like someone
geeked
will say to you, "Are you geeked or locked in?"
Okay, so I would think geeked would not be paying attention or possibly compromised, and then locked in would be focused.
You're actually doing
Maybe.
great. That's it.
Okay.
That's really it. So,
But to be fair, though,
Yeah.
I work with Taylor, so I hear locked in
you
all
do
the
see
time.
locked
So
in.
yeah, I hear that
I'm a
constantly.
frantic
He's stuck on
locked
that.
in
Yeah.
user. I use the word locked in a lot. That is whenever you are ready to focus on a certain matter. If you are getting all your chips together and you're ready to focus on your work, you're locked in for the day.
Geeked, I don't know.
Geeked is like if you're goofing off.
Okay.
Are you not focused on your work? Are you goofing off? Are you talking too much? Are you doing something silly?
Geeked.
You're geeked. Yeah.
Okay,
And
so I'm going to use that with my daughter.
Yeah,
today.
yeah. Like
Usually I use them.
you can say geeking. Why are you geeking?
Why are you geeking?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. There you go.
I got
there
it
you
now.
go. Yeah. Why
And I
are you
usually do it in
geeking?
public. And
Or you're geeked out right now. Like you need to calm down. You're geeked out. Yeah.
She's still at the age where I can still embarrass her. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
and
do
or
that
you could
public.
tap her on
Why
the
you
shoulder.
geeking?
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
see?
That's it right
Okay.
there. Why are you geeking? Or you can tap him on the shoulder and just be like, "You need to lock in right now." Yeah, that's what I tell.
I need you locked in
Yeah,
right now.
that's
If I
it
can do
right
my
there.
daddy
I
voice,
need
you
you
locked
locked
in right
in
now.
right now. That is
You're
it.
here. I need you here.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's raising it to another level. Thank you. That was perfect. Sponsored segment by Mom and Pop Gibson. That is learning your slang. So maybe if you guys hear that out in public or you hear kids saying it, now you understand, okay, maybe I'm a little bit more locked in now.
I need you to lock in.
I need you to lock in.
I like
Okay.
that. Okay.
Let's talk. Let's go back to. I want to talk about media now because media is such a large form of technology, and I want to ask you about the things you were watching as a kid, the type of entertainment that you were watching as a kid, and being honest too. If it was like you were watching the R-rated Indiana Jones movie, like as a kid, that's something that your experience that you grew up in. I'll start with me and kind of like what I did. My household was very cartoon, but not like the crazy cartoons. Like I wasn't a SpongeBob kid. I wasn't really like a Amazing World of Gumball, like those cartoons that had the characters that were a little crazy. We were much more of a Cartoon Network family.
Right.
And so different things that would come in. I know one of the things my parents absolutely did not want me to watch at all was a show named Chowder. It was one on Cartoon Network, but it was just, that one was a little crazy. Shout out to the producers for that one. But no, obviously, but the type of things we were watching, it was very like for a purpose, right? Obviously, like I would watch the things that were fun and still like all the kids thought were cool in school. A lot of the Lego stuff that would come out, we were very much so into. But a lot of the media that we were consuming that I am watching these kids consume now, vastly different. And it is a lot of just like very spontaneous things kids are watching now. Like I hate to even have this word come out of my mouth, but the skibbity toilet stuff that these kids that are watching now, I take pride in being able to understand what and why people in the youth are watching things like this. And the only thing that I can get from that is the spontaneousness and the like just the randomness of it.
Or maybe
almost.
just appeals to that lower attention span.
Exactly.
Because
The
they came
lower
up on
attention span.
they came
Yeah.
up on screen time.
And
So
that has to
they're
be it.
used to go ahead and being swiped to the
Yeah.
next. So they have to keep them engaged. So
Yeah.
maybe it has something to do with engagement.
But what were you growing up on?
Oh, I grew up on Tom and Jerry, Scooby-Doo.
Yes. Scooby-Doo was a big one.
Let's see. Ruh-roh.
I grew up on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
That was a big one.
That more came out when I was in college, but then
Okay.
But then
Yeah.
and really that was more. And before that, it was it was comic books with
Yeah,
Teenage Mutant Ninja
I am.
Turtles.
I am now getting into comic books as a more avid reader as I grow up, which is another form of media technically.
True.
That as I grow up, I have kind of branched off from the, I think from the more like watching it on TV per sense. But I think even then, we're talking about the evolutions of media. I used to, watch TV, but never like YouTube, like how it is now. Like you have an entertainment that is completely
carte.
free, not hard at all.
Right.
It's you don't need. Sometimes I remember going over to my mom's house, and I would go over to my mom's house, and we would have about 4 channels we could watch on the TV, and those were our channels.
That's all you had.
That's
yeah.
all you had.
That's what it was when I was growing up. So
Yeah, and so it was like going from that to now. Obviously, all you have to do is open up your phone and boom! Oh, look, I'm watching an hour-long video of the absolute most new video game or news release or whatever it is that has just come out. You're perfect and ready to go.
Do you watch
already.
streamers like that?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
See,
Yeah.
I could never watch somebody else play another video
Yeah,
game.
that's a big thing.
I can't even sit over anybody's shoulder and watch them play a video game. That's
Yeah.
just, but I can't believe that's a phenomenon that people are actually streaming. And yeah, I've seen several people on the station too that'll watch other people play.
Just play.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like it gives you a sense of community, like you're there with a friend. And so like I will watch streamers that I have watched for years, and to play these games and different things like that. And it makes you feel, and maybe that's what the youth nowadays is getting from this type of YouTube media, is that one, everybody else that they're talking to is also watching it. So they are
sense of community.
It's a sense of community that way. It's helping them fit in that way. But it's also just it's the new thing to them. It's the new shiny toy for them, right? Whenever we were growing up, it was Minecraft. It was these watching these kids play. This was the Call of Duties. It was the Halos. It was those type of things. This just might be the new bright shiny toy that kids are attracted to right now. And so as we put our final statements on here, I am a real believer in the human race, and I think that technology is not ruining childhoods, while it does play a part in some of the craziness that goes on and some of the dangers that go on.
Bullying
in this
for
world.
one thing.
Bullying for one.
When I was a kid, you had bullies, but you
Yeah.
could actually stand up, or actually at the end of the day, you went home from school and you were free of it. With social
Exactly.
media, they chase them to the house now. So,
Exactly.
So that's one. You are part of a community, but you can't unplug from that community.
Absolutely.
But I'm
Absolutely.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, but that was exactly where we were going with that. Was that, well, there are dangers. There are all things that can be handled and will continue to be handled, and it's nothing that the individual cannot take care of, right? And I think that is what the main focus of it all is as you as an individual will be able to handle that whenever it is your responsibility. And so I think that is obviously a great thing as we continue to push forward and take steps forward as a nation and as people every day. And so if you guys have enjoyed this second episode of The Bridge, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button and listen to us anywhere you guys find your podcast. For right now, tell somebody you love them, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.